My own daughter blew up my life's work in front of half of Traverse City, and I clapped like a damn fool. I'm standing there on that July festival stage, cherry pie smell mixing with burnt lithium in the air, watching flames shoot 20 feet from my prototype battery. The crowd screams. Some kid's balloon pops near my ear, and through the smoke, I swear I catch Amelia smirking behind her hand. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me rewind to when I still believed family meant something. I'm Harold Hargrove, 61 years old, white guy from Grand Rapids who built Hargrove Auto Parts from a 2-car garage into a $180 million electric vehicle component empire. 400 employees who I know by name. We tailgate at Michigan State games. We baptize each other's kids at St. Andrews. I bury my profits back into pensions and Christmas bonuses, because that's what you do when people bet their mortgages on your vision. 5 years ago, I buried my wife Caroline. Cancer took her in 11 months. I threw myself into work, into family, into making sure my daughter Amelia had everything. VP of Sales at 38. Corner office overlooking Lake Michigan. Company Mercedes. Her husband Oliver, well, he's another story. Crypto trader. Always chasing the next big score. But he makes Amelia happy. So I smile and nod at Thanksgiving while he explains blockchain like I'm some old fool who doesn't understand the future. I understand plenty. I understand Tesla dangling a $50 million contract in front of us. I understand that our new battery prototype could change everything. Make us the supplier for the entire Midwest EV market. So here we are at the National Cherry Festival in Traverse City. Peak summer, the kind of Michigan day that makes you forget about February. Kids from Traverse City Central High wave American flags. The Cherry Queen adjusts her crown. Camera crews from Detroit set up angles. I'm sweating through my shirt. Not from heat, from hope. Amelia hands me the detonator switch for the demo. Red button. Simple. She squeezes my shoulder. Says, "Dad, this is your moment." Her smile looks almost genuine. I press the button. The explosion hits like a shotgun blast to the chest. Metal shrapnel pings off the stage scaffolding. Someone's kid starts crying. Smoke rolls thick and black across West Front Street. I smell that chemical stench, that garage fire smell that means everything you built is turning to ash. Sirens wail past St. Mary's Catholic Church within 90 seconds. Fire trucks, ambulances. The Cherry Queen's crown gets knocked sideways by a flying battery cell. I just stand there, frozen, watching my $50 million contract burn. Amelia rushes up. Her face is panic. But looking back now, I see the calculation behind her eyes. "Dad," she says, grabbing my arm. "Dad, you look pale. Are you having chest pains?" I'm not. I'm having an oh my god what just happened moment. But she's insistent. She shoves a bottle of water at me. "No, wait, coffee. Iced latte from that place near the marina. Drink this, Dad. Please. You need to stay calm." He drank it. Big mistake. She pulls out papers. Emergency temporary transfer of authority. Medical proxy. "Just in case, Dad. Just sign here. Let me handle the press. Let me handle the investigation. You need to rest." My hand shakes as I sign. The coffee tastes bitter. Off. Within an hour, everything goes sideways. My vision blurs. Security escorts me from the festival grounds. Not to a hospital. To my car. Amelia says I insisted on going home. I don't remember insisting on anything except not passing out in front of the entire town. I wake up 16 hours later in my lakeside house outside Petoskey. My phone's dead. My laptop's locked. When I finally charge the phone, I've got 200 missed calls. Board of Directors. Legal team. The SEC. Turns out $800,000 disappeared from company accounts overnight. Wire transfers to offshore crypto wallets. My authorization. My digital signature. Except I never touched that money. I was unconscious in my own bed, dreaming about Caroline telling me to wake up. The board votes me out, unanimous. Even the guys I hired 20 years ago. Amelia takes interim CEO. She cries during the press conference. Says her father's illness forced this difficult transition. Says the company will survive this scandal. Scandal. My life's work is now a scandal. I'm 72 hours into this nightmare when Oliver shows up at my door. He's got that slick smile, that hedge fund confidence. He tells me to sign over my shares. Make this easy. Walk away while I still have my pension. I tell him to go straight to hell. Next thing I know, foreclosure notices arrive. My lake house, bought with cash 15 years ago, suddenly underwater with liens I never signed. I pack a bag, start driving. I don't know where, just north, away from the wreckage. I end up at a gas station in Street Ignace, Upper Peninsula, where the bridge crosses into nowhere. It's November now, 4 months since the festival. Snow's coming down like God's emptying the freezer, temperatures dropping to single digits. My credit cards bounce. All of them. My bank account's frozen. SEC investigation. I sit in that gas station that smells like fried pasties and motor oil and defeat. 24 hours. The attendant finally lets me sleep in the back room because he recognizes me from some interview I did on Fox Detroit. I nearly die that night. Heater barely works. I'm shivering so hard my ribs ache. And I'm thinking this is it. This is how Harold Hargrove ends. Frozen in the UP, like some forgotten Ford factory. But somewhere around 4 in the morning, something clicks. I'm not done. Not even close. My daughter wants to play corporate warfare? Fine, let's play. Because Michigan karma doesn't freeze. It just waits for spring. If you've ever had family stab you in the back when you needed them most, hit that subscribe button. Tell me in the comments what you would have done in that gas station. Because this story, we're just getting started. I survived that gas station night by pure Michigan stubbornness. The kind that builds cars in blizzards and wins football games in overtime. When the sun comes up over the Mackinac Bridge, I've got frostbite on 3 fingers and a plan sharper than January wind. I call Marcus Webb, ex-FBI forensic accountant, worked the Enron case. Lives in Ann Arbor now, consulting for companies that don't want to become headlines. I've got $1,700 in cash hidden in my glove box. Emergency fund from the old days. It's enough. Marcus meets me at a Denny's in Saginaw 3 days later. He's got reading glasses and a laptop that probably cost more than my first car. I slide him everything I've got. Bank statements. Board meeting minutes. That drugged coffee cup I kept from the festival. He looks at me over his Grand Slam breakfast. Harold, he says, if half of what you're telling me is true, your daughter's going to prison. I don't want her in prison. I want the truth. He nods. Starts typing. Within a week, Marcus cracks it wide open. Oliver's crypto wallet shows deposits from a Ukrainian hacking group. Same group that penetrated our company servers 2 days before the festival demo. They altered the battery's thermal management code. Made it overheat on command. But here's the kicker. The payment trail leads back to Oliver's personal gambling debts. $120,000 to some offshore casino. Then another payment. This one to Amelia's private account. $50,000, marked as consulting fees. My own daughter paid to sabotage me. Marcus pulls up more. The $800,000 wire transfer? Oliver's digital fingerprints all over it. He used my credentials. Probably grabbed them while I was unconscious from whatever Amelia put in that coffee. I sit in Marcus's office in Ann Arbor and I can't breathe. It's like Caroline dying all over again, that same crushing weight on my chest. But I'm not dying. I'm getting angry. We arrange an emergency board meeting, Grand Rapids, the old factory where I started this company. Still smells like motor oil and possibility. The break room serving pasties from that place on Bridge Street. Some things in Michigan never change. Amelia walks in wearing a power suit that probably costs more than most of my workers make in a month. She's glowing, confident. She thinks she's won. The board members file in. 8 of them, all looking uncomfortable. They know something's coming. I stand at the head of the table. My table. The one Caroline and I bought at a bankruptcy auction in 2003. Amelia smiles. That same smile from the festival stage. Dad, she says, I'm glad you came. We need to discuss your transition package. Your retirement. I'm 61. Retirement's not on my radar. She leans back in her chair. Crosses her arms. Dad, let's be honest. You're outdated. Like dial-up in a 5G world. This company needs leadership that understands the future. I look at her, really look at her. I see Caroline's eyes, Caroline's determination, but something else too, something desperate. Honey, I say quietly, I'm analog tough. You fold like cheap Detroit steel. The room goes silent. Marcus stands up, projects the financial records on the screen, every transaction, every hack, every lie. Amelia's face goes white, then red. She starts to stand, but her hand goes to her stomach, a protective gesture, unconscious. She's pregnant. I can see it now. The loose clothing, the way she's been avoiding wine at meetings. I think about her mother's funeral 5 years ago. Resurrection Cemetery on a gray October morning, Amelia sobbing into my shoulder, saying she couldn't do this without Mom, saying she was scared of being alone. I promised her she'd never be alone, promised I'd take care of her forever. Some promises get twisted into weapons. Before the board can vote, my phone buzzes. SEC. They've received an anonymous tip. All company assets frozen pending investigation. Mine and Amelia's. The whole board's under scrutiny now. Amelia's phone goes off too. She looks at the screen. Her face crumbles. Oliver, she whispers. 3 days later, Oliver gets grabbed outside Comerica Park. Tigers game. He's tailgating with some business contacts, drinking beer from a cooler, eating hot dogs. 2 guys in black jackets walk up. Mob guys. Real ones, not movie versions. They take him by the arms, walk him to a van, gone in 30 seconds. His contacts call the cops, call Amelia, call everyone. Except I get a call too. Prepaid phone, blocked number. Oliver's voice, shaking, crying. Mr. Hargrove, he says, please, they want money. They know about the gambling debts. They know everything. I'm recording this. Every word. Tell me about Amelia, I say. Tell me about the prototype. He breaks. Completely. Says Amelia needed out. Needed cash fast. She's pregnant. Not his kid. Some VP from our Chicago office. Affair been going on for months. She wanted to sell the company. Take the buyout money. Disappear to California. I engineered everything, Oliver sobs. The hack. The coffee. The wire transfers. She just wanted freedom. I wanted to clear my debts. I hang up, call the FBI, give them Oliver's location. Mob guys were my guys. Ex-employees who owed me favors. Theater for a confession. Karma doesn't freeze in Michigan. It just waits for the right moment to break through the ice. Next time, you'll see what happens when family loyalty collides with federal charges. And trust me, that collision's going to be spectacular. Oliver's confession gives the board enough ammunition to bring me back, temporarily, pending full investigation. I'll take it. They reinstate me the same week as Art Prize in Grand Rapids. The whole city transforms into an art gallery. Sculptures on street corners, paintings in coffee shops, corporate sponsors hosting galas. Our company's supposed to be there. Hargrove Auto Parts sponsoring some sustainable energy exhibit. Amelia planned it months ago, before she tried to destroy me. I've got Marcus set up in a hotel room with equipment that would make NASA jealous. We're hacking into the shareholder Zoom call, the one Amelia scheduled to officially vote me out permanently. She thinks I'm beaten, thinks I'm still frozen somewhere in the Upper Peninsula. The gala's in full swing. Open bar, cheese plates, local politicians shaking hands. I'm watching it all on a laptop screen while Marcus types furiously. We're in, he says, broadcasting in 3, 2, 1. The Zoom call pops up. 50 shareholders, major investors. Amelia at the head of the virtual table. She's wearing a Navy power suit, but it doesn't hide what I can see now. Her belly. 6 months, maybe, showing despite her best efforts. I unmute myself. Good evening, everyone. Amelia's face goes from confident to ghost white in half a second. Dad, she says, her voice cracks. This is a private meeting. Not anymore. Marcus shares his screen. All the evidence. Every transaction. Oliver's confession recording. The Ukrainian hackers. The sabotaged battery code. Shareholders start talking over each other, demanding answers, threatening lawsuits. I look at Amelia through the camera. She's gripping the edge of her desk, knuckles white. "Oliver," I say, addressing the absent coward, "your crypto portfolio's down more than the Lions in the playoffs." I pause. Hilarious, really, how you bet everything on digital air while I built something real. Nobody laughs. This isn't that kind of meeting. But the point lands. Amelia tries to speak, to defend herself, but her hand goes to her stomach again. She winces, pain flashing across her face. The meeting dissolves into chaos. Lawyers talking over each other, investors demanding emergency votes. I watch Amelia disconnect, just gone. I should feel Oliverius, I don't. I feel sick. Marcus gets the call 2 hours later. His FBI contacts. Amelia's in the emergency room near Cherry Capital Airport in Traverse City, where this whole nightmare started at the festival. She's miscarrying. I drive north. 3 hours. Pushing my truck past 80 on I-75. Not sure why. Not sure what I'll do when I get there. The hospital smells like antiseptic and regret. I don't go to her room. Can't. Instead, I sit in my truck in the parking lot until 2 in the morning. There's a cherry orchard near the festival grounds. Same one where they get the fruit for the pie-eating contest. I drive there in the dark. Pick a handful of cherries still hanging on the trees. November cherries. Half frozen. Not meant to survive this long. I leave them at the hospital reception desk. Anonymous delivery for Amelia Hargrove. No note. Just cherries. I sit in that parking lot and think about Caroline's funeral. About how Amelia couldn't stop shaking during the eulogy. How she came to live with me for 3 months after. How I threw myself into work instead of grief. Instead of being the father she needed. I pushed her to be strong, to be ruthless, to take what she wanted in business. Maybe I pushed too hard. Maybe I taught her the wrong lessons. Guilt tastes like copper and regret. But guilt doesn't pause the war. 2 days later, I'm back at the Grand Rapids factory, installing AI security cameras, the fancy kind with facial recognition and motion sensors. Marcus's idea. Says we need evidence if Oliver tries anything desperate. Desperate happens at 2:15 in the morning on a Tuesday. The AI system pings my phone. Motion detected. Main production floor. I pull up the camera feed. Oliver. Sneaking through the side entrance. He's carrying something. Gas cans. 2 of them. He's going to burn it down. Destroy the evidence. Destroy everything. I'm 15 minutes away. I call 911. Call the volunteer fire department from the township. Call Marcus. Then I drive like I'm racing at Michigan International Speedway. Oliver's already spreading gasoline when I pull up. I can smell it from the parking lot. He sees my headlights. Freezes like a deer. We lock eyes through the factory windows. Him holding a lighter. Me holding my phone with 911 still on the line. The AI cameras are recording everything. Every angle. Every crime. Fire trucks arrive with sirens screaming. Volunteers from the neighborhood. Guys I've known for 20 years. They tackle Oliver before he can light anything. The police arrive next. Handcuff him right there on the production floor. Attempted arson. Destruction of evidence. Federal charges stacking up like winter snow. Oliver's screaming, saying Amelia made him do it, saying she promised they'd run away together, saying the baby was supposed to fix everything. There's no baby anymore, just ashes and regrets. 3 days later, Amelia walks into the federal courthouse near Calder Plaza in downtown Grand Rapids. I'm there, so are the prosecutors, so are about a dozen lawyers. She's thin, pale, wearing black like she's attending another funeral. Her attorney negotiates immunity, full testimony against Oliver in exchange for no prison time, community service, probation, supervised visits with her 2 kids from her first marriage. Kids I barely see anymore, kids who are my grandchildren. She takes the stand, tells them everything, the affair, the desperation, the pregnancy that wasn't Oliver's, the plan to sell the company and disappear. She cries when she describes the miscarriage, says maybe it's karma, says maybe she deserved to lose everything, I sit in that courtroom and feel like I'm drowning in Lake Michigan. Because here's the truth nobody tells you about revenge. Winning doesn't feel like winning when you're burying your daughter's future right next to your wife's grave. Stay with me, because this story is about to show you what justice really costs. The criminal trial ends with Oliver facing federal charges, but I'm not done, not even close. I file a civil suit, $2.1 million in damages, company losses, emotional distress, fraud, every billable hour my lawyers can justify. The courtroom's in Lansing, state capital. The building smells like old law books and somehow impossibly like corn dogs from the state fair. Michigan's capital city has a way of mixing government with carnival. Oliver shows up looking like he aged 10 years in 3 months. Prison orange would suit him, but he's still out on bail, still thinking he can salvage this. His lawyer's a public defender, 20-something kid fresh out of Cooley Law, looks terrified. My legal team fills 2 rows of benches. Marcus is there with his forensic evidence, the SEC investigators, character witnesses from employees Oliver tried to destroy. Judge Morrison presides, old school Michigan, graduated from U of M law back when Nixon was president, seen every con, every scheme, every desperate move. The trial takes 3 weeks. Oliver's paranoia escalates daily. He starts showing up late, disheveled, eyes darting around like he's being hunted. Then he violates the restraining order. There's a pasty festival in the Upper Peninsula, Marquette, same region where I nearly froze to death in that gas station. Oliver shows up, finds Amelia doing her court-mandated community service at the event cleanup crew. He grabs her arm outside the food tent, starts screaming about how she ruined his life, how the baby would have fixed everything, how they should run away together. Festival security tackles him. State police arrive. He's arrested right there between the pasty booth and the fudge stands. Back in the Lansing courtroom 2 days later, Judge Morrison looks at Oliver like he's examining a particularly disappointing science project. "Son," the judge says, "Michigan winters are cold. But your choices?" He pauses for effect. "Arctic." The courtroom chuckles. Even Oliver's public defender cracks a smile. Judge Morrison awards me the full $2.1 million. Oliver's assets get seized. His crypto wallets, his cars, his condo in Royal Oak, everything. Bankruptcy doesn't begin to describe what hits him. This is total financial annihilation, the kind of ruin that follows you for decades. 3 years in federal prison for the arson attempt, plus restitution, plus probation afterward. Oliver gets let out in handcuffs. He doesn't look at me, doesn't look at anyone, just stares at the floor like he's already practicing for his cell. I should feel Oliverius. Instead, I feel empty, exhausted. Like I just finished a marathon in a snowstorm. Amelia gets community service. 18 months. Detroit Auto Show cleanup crew. Picking up trash. Sweeping floors. Wearing an orange vest with court supervised stamped on the back. She's also lost custody of her kids. Temporary. Pending evaluation. They come to live with me in Holland. My house on the lake, the one I bought after Caroline died, trying to fill the emptiness with square footage. Now it's full of life again. Noah's 8. Emma's 5. They arrive with backpacks and scared eyes and questions I don't know how to answer. "Where's Mommy?" Emma asks that first night. "Why can't we go home?" I kneel down to her level. "Your mom needs to fix some things," I say, "but Grandpa's going to take care of you. Promise." It's tulip time in Holland. May. The whole town explodes with flowers, Dutch Heritage Festival, wooden shoes, dancing, tourists everywhere. I take the kids to the parades. We watch the Klompen dancers in their traditional costumes. Noah thinks it's weird. Emma wants to try. We sign up for lessons. Every Thursday evening, I'm 61 years old learning Dutch folk dancing with my traumatized grandchildren in a community center that smells like coffee and determination. Emma laughs when I mess up the steps. Real laughter. First time since she moved in. Between dance moves, I teach them what I should have taught their mother. What Caroline would have taught if cancer hadn't stolen her voice. Ethics aren't about winning, I tell Noah one evening. We're sitting on the deck watching the sunset over Lake Michigan. They're about doing right even when it costs you everything. But Grandpa, he says, you won. You beat Mom and Oliver. I look at this 8-year-old kid who shouldn't have to think about corporate betrayal and federal trials. Who should be worried about third-grade math and soccer practice? Winning isn't the same as being right, I say. Your mom made terrible choices. But she's still your mom. She still loves you. Emma crawls into my lap. Will Mommy come back? She whispers. Yeah, sweetheart, she will. It'll just take time. Supervised visits start in June. Once a week. Amelia comes to the house. A social worker sits in the corner taking notes. The kids are shy at first, uncertain. Amelia's lost weight. Her power suit's replaced with jeans and t-shirts. No makeup. Hair pulled back. She looks like the daughter I remember from 20 years ago, before ambition turned her into someone I didn't recognize. She brings coloring books, plays games, doesn't talk about the trial or prison or any of it. Just tries to be mom again. I watch from the kitchen, making coffee, pretending not to eavesdrop, wondering if families can actually heal from this kind of damage. Meanwhile, I'm back at the company, full control. The board apologizes. Investors apologize. Everyone's sorry now that the truth is public. Tesla still wants that $50 million contract. We rebuild the prototype, this time with security that would make Fort Knox jealous. Company valuation hits $300 million. We're bigger than before the betrayal, stronger, but different. I start teaching ethics seminars for employees, for business students at Michigan State, for anyone who'll listen, because here's what nearly dying in a blizzard teaches you. Success without integrity is just a fancy word for eventual collapse. One more chapter left. Stay with me. You need to see how this story really ends. 2 years after that gas station nightmare, Hargrove Auto Parts hits $300 million in valuation. Tesla contract secured. New partnerships with Ford and GM. We're supplying EV components to half the Midwest. The company I built in a 2-car garage now employs 600 people across 3 states. The board meeting where they announced the numbers feels surreal. These same people voted me out, called me a liability, a scandal. Now they're calling me a visionary. Funny how truth changes perspectives. I skip the champagne celebration. Instead, I drive to the VFW in Grand Rapids for Friday fish fry. $22 for all-you-can-eat perch, coleslaw, and fries. Same vinyl booths I've been sitting in for 30 years. Jerry, the bartender, slides me a Budweiser. Heard you're worth a fortune now, he says. I'm worth what I've always been worth, I tell him. It's just that now people believe it. He laughs, pours himself a shot. To Karma's balance sheet, he says. Priceless. We drink to that, to justice that doesn't show up in quarterly reports. The real wealth walks through my door every afternoon at 3:15, Noah and Emma. Backpacks hitting the floor, shoes kicked off, life exploding into my quiet house like a cherry bomb at the festival. Noah's 10 now, playing youth football, wants to be a Spartan like Grandpa rooted for. I take him to games at Michigan State. We tailgate with Bratz and Verners, sing the fight song with 75,000 other believers. Emma's 7. Takes those Dutch dancing lessons seriously now, performs at Tulip Time in full costume, wooden shoes and all. Caroline would have loved watching her spin across that stage. I keep Caroline's photo on the mantle, right next to the kids' school pictures. Sometimes I catch myself talking to her, telling her about the grandkids, about how Amelia's trying to rebuild, about how I'm trying to forgive. Supervised visits evolved into regular visits, then into weekend stays. Amelia's been clean for 18 months. No schemes, no shortcuts, just showing up. We meet at Mackinac Island sometimes. Take the ferry from Mackinac City. The kids love the fudge shops and the horse-drawn carriages. No cars allowed on the island, just bikes and time moving slower. Amelia and I walk along the shore while the kids chase each other on the Grand Hotel lawn. She's enrolled at Grand Valley State University. Night classes, business ethics and accounting. Says she wants to do things right this time. I'm proud of you, I tell her one evening. sunset painting the water orange and gold. She looks at me, really looks at me. The way she used to before Oliver in desperation and grief turned her into someone else. "I'm sorry, Dad," she says it quietly, like a prayer. "I was so angry after Mom died. Felt like you chose work over me, so I chose ambition over you. I chose wrong too, I admit. Should have grieved with you instead of burying myself in contracts and expansions." We stand there watching the ferry approach, both of us trying to figure out how broken families piece themselves back together. The kids run up, sticky with fudge, laughing. Emma grabs Amelia's hand. "Mommy," she says, "can we come back next week?" Amelia looks at me, asking permission with her eyes. "Yeah," I say, "we can come back." The company promotes me to Chairman Emeritus at the annual shareholder meeting. Fancy title that means I built something lasting, that I can step back without everything collapsing. I'm 63 now. Still go to the office 3 days a week. Mentor young executives. Teach that ethics seminar I started. Tell the story of what happens when ambition outweighs integrity. Some of them look bored, think it can't happen to them. I just smile. Point to the $300 million valuation. Tell them success without character is just a countdown to catastrophe. Oliver gets out of prison next year. I hear he's working in the prison library, teaching other inmates about cryptocurrency scams. Irony so thick you could serve it at the fish fry. I don't hate him anymore, don't really feel anything. He's just a cautionary tale, a reminder that desperate people make devastating choices. Sunday afternoons we go to Street Francis for church picnics. The kids play kickball while adults argue about whether the Lions will ever win a Super Bowl. Spoiler alert, hope springs eternal in Michigan. Noah asks me once what I learned from everything that happened. The betrayal, the trial, the near-death experience in that gas station. I tell him what Caroline would have said. That family's complicated, that people make mistakes, that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, but it does mean choosing love over bitterness. That karma keeps score, but mercy writes the final chapter. My evenings end on the porch of my Lake Michigan house, wind coming off the dunes, waves hitting the shore like a heartbeat, Caroline's photo beside me, coffee going cold in my hand. I think about that gas station in Street Ignace, about nearly freezing to death, about deciding in that moment that I wasn't done fighting. Now I'm not fighting anymore. I'm just living, watching grandkids grow, watching my daughter rebuild, watching a company thrive on principles I nearly compromised to save it. Success tastes like cherry pie from the Traverse City Festival, sweet, earned, satisfying. Life tastes like Friday fish fry and church picnics and football games in the fall. Simple, real, balanced. I'm not the same man who stood on that festival stage 2 years ago. I'm better, stronger, more careful with trust, but more generous with grace. The company's worth $300 million. But sitting here with the sunset and the wind and Caroline's memory, I know the real valuation. Family restored, integrity intact, grandkids thriving, daughter healing. Michigan karma isn't just about revenge. It's about rebuilding what betrayal tried to destroy, and building it better than before. If this story taught you anything about family, ambition, or second chances, hit that subscribe button below. Tell me in the comments what you would have done in that gas station. What you would have chosen when revenge and mercy were both on the table. Because at the end of the day, we all face that choice. The question is, what will you choose? Thanks for staying with me through all 5 parts of this journey. Life's complicated, family's messier. But karma? Karma always balances the books. See you in the next story.